So I made a series of films for the BBC some years ago about the most dangerous migration route in the world. So out of West Africa and East Africa as well, but mainly out of West Africa, so Burkina Faso, Nigeria, Niger, and we followed the migrants up into Libya, and it was during Gaddafi, and Gaddafi gave us permission to follow them across the border from Niger and close to the Algerian border, and then continue down into Libya. So this was before anybody else was reporting this. So this was back in 2006, 2007. So it's quite early. And what did I learn from that? Well, I learned that a lot of the people coming in, trying to get to Europe in the end, were from countries where there is no war, you know. So, and I'm talking about Eritrea and Sudan and Nigeria, and to a certain degree, Equatorial Guinea. And obviously these are all countries which have a number of things in common, which is that even though there is no war, the human rights record of these countries is extremely poor. So it is natural to want to improve one's life and leave. And I decided to write this book because I was so fascinated by, first of all, what colonial countries had done, and then by what a series of dictators had done in terms of stealing resources from countries. So I wanted to look at diamonds and gold and cocoa and obviously oil. And oil was the one that really fascinated me because, you know, Britain, we were running Nigeria just as they discovered oil. Just as we were about to hand it over, Nigeria discovered oil, which was not so good for the British. We wanted, it would have been better if they discovered oil a little bit before. But I became fascinated by the plundering, the stealing of resources over a long period of time. So my focus was drawn to Equatorial Guinea. Now I have to be honest with you, I knew very little about Equatorial Guinea when I proposed this book to my publisher. But I was just fascinated that a country could be so potentially wealthy that it could be the next Kuwait, the next Qatar, because it, as we all know, with a very small population and enormous reserves of oil, the potential for a very successful country seemed to me to be one of the most exciting opportunities in all of Africa. And yet the achievement was so low, even in comparison with other countries in Africa. So that's what drew me to Equatorial Guinea. So I read lots and lots of books. I went to the British Library and read loads of documents about Equatorial Guinea. My problem, of course, is I don't speak Spanish, so I had to get people to translate things. And then I came across, Corred. I came across Corred, and I came across the diaspora here, and Raimundo in particular. And he was extremely helpful to me. So I interviewed him, and he told me all about his father's story, and his father being a minister under the immediate post-colonial regime of Macias. And I thought it was fascinating, and I spent quite a bit of time with Raimundo, and I came across with the opinion that he was honest, and he was full of integrity, and he had quiet ambition on behalf of people who've been dispossessed. And I thought his story was important because his father was someone who, even though he was part of the regime early on, tried to do good things. Tried to do good things from within, which is extremely difficult to do. So I included Equatorial Guinea in the book, and there's a whole chapter on Equatorial Guinea, and all the way through Macias, and then Obiang, and then Teodoro, of course. And I plot out all the corruption that has taken place in Equatorial Guinea. And on the way here, it's always funny, because most of you are from Equatorial Guinea, so you know far more about the country than I can ever dream of knowing. But I hope you can indulge me. I came up with a list of things I wanted to share with you, just briefly. So I spent a lot of time in Africa for the BBC, all over Africa, east, west, south, north, everywhere. And so I have some observations about how Equatorial Guinea might have a regime change. It's not for me to say, because I'm not a politician. I'm a journalist, so I look at it from above, and I just have a view on how other countries have had regime changes.